سبيل الدموع سبيل مريح
Dr. Zakir Naik has been in the eye of the storm ever since the Dhaka terror attacks, when one of the attackers cited him as the inspiration. To talk about all this and more, Dr. Naik himself, in his first interview to any Indian news channel. Doctor, we're doing this interview in Jeddah. Isn't it ironical? Why can't you come back to India and make your case?
The point to be noted is that I am an NRI, a non-resident Indian, and most part of the year I live outside. So I have an Aqama of Saudi Arabia since many years, even of Dubai. So most of the time I stay outside. So that's the reason I wouldn't like to come all the way just to give an interview.
No, it's not a question of interview. You know that, you know how the situation has developed in India. There's been a furor. People have been asking, raising many questions. So what are you afraid of? If there is nothing to hide, why don't you come back to India and answer these questions?
Yes, I'm aware that there were many allegations on the Indian media. And I've heard the allegation that Zakir has inspired many terrorists, and many of the Indian channels labeled me as a terrorist. As far as being afraid, I'm not afraid at all. So far, there is not a single Indian government authority which has called me. So if they call me, not a single, yes. Because to call, they should find something substantial. Just because the Indian media, the television channels, all the newspapers, they want, I'm not going to come for a media trial there. Anyhow, in spite when all these things happen, I was supposed to take out a time for 1.5 days. And I'd called a press conference on the 12th. I was supposed to land on the 11th, have the press conference on the 12th and come back. I was supposed to be for 1.5 days from my busy schedule. I'd taken out time, but we had a great difficulty in finding venue. The venue was booked, it was cancelled. Then again, there were 4 5-star hotels. And 5-star, they agreed. They said fine, then again they cancelled last moment. We went to another one, they cancelled. I don't know who pressurized them. Then finally I had to cancel the trip. Then it took us 4 days. Then I told one of my friends who has a big hall. He said no problem. Even he was pressurized. Finally we had to do in a place which...
So the long and short of it is that if needed, you are prepared to come back to India.
If any government authority wants any inquiry, I'm most willing to cooperate. But you don't expect me to take out time 1.5 days, again cancel, again come, again cancel. And this is a media trial. If any government authority of India, investigation authority, wants any cooperation, not only Indian, any foreign authority, if they want any cooperation in which they can catch any terrorist of the world, I'm willing anytime.
But certainly it is not the media which has cooked all this up. After all, your name came up when one of the attackers in the dastardly terror attack at the Dhaka bakery took your name. And it's ironical that your television channel is called Peace TV and your name is being and terrorists are taking your name, citing you as an inspiration.
If you know, the attack took place on 1st of July in this year. There was a newspaper by the name of Daily Star which said that one of the terrorists was inspired by Dr. Zakir Naik. And Dr. Zakir Naik is banned in UK, in Canada, in Malaysia. And later on, the Indian media picked it up and blew it out of proportion. A few days later, the same Daily Star on the 9th of July said, we never ever said that Dr. Zakir Naik inspired any terrorist to kill innocent human beings. What we said, that one of the terrorists was a fan, that's it. So when the Bangladeshi paper corrected, and they went on to said that we stand corrected, that Dr. Zakir Naik is not banned in Malaysia. So when the newspaper, the article from the newspaper with the Indian media picked up this news, why didn't they correct themselves? So this shows the double standards of the Indian media.
No, the Indian media,
How it started? It started from an article that came in Daily Star on the 3rd of July, right?
But the Indian media, let's be fair, the Indian media is also focusing on some of your speeches. And let's talk of your speeches. Can you deny that words and language used by you in your speeches is liable to spread disaffection, in fact, hatred amongst communities?
I have seen there is not a single lecture of mine, if not taken out of context, will ever spread hatred. All my speeches bring communal harmony. It brings communal harmony between the various sects of Muslims. It brings communal harmony between the various religions of humanity, Muslims, Hindus, Muslims, Christian. What the media has done, they have done a devilish thing. They have picked up my sentences out of context. They have quoted half my sentences. And some of the clips shown are doctored. Imagine if I have to take your interview and if I ask you that how is Hitler? And if Hitler is not good, I chop off your knot and say Hitler is good. It is doctored. That's what the Indian media has done. What they do, they take half my sentence. And if I do the same thing, all these journalists...
Okay, so let's speak specifics. Did you or did you not say that, that it's justified to become a terrorist?
Never ever. I challenge anyone to point out a single paragraph of my speech.
In your reference to America?
Never ever, never ever. It's, as I told you, some clips are doctors, some clips are doctored, most of them are out of context, and many of them, they're half statements. I challenge. What I would say, that the Indian media, when they pick up any sentences, they should see the full lecture. You can't pick up out of context. And I challenge one journalist who has spoken against me. If he says and say, I've seen the full lecture. If they pick up 5 clips, have they seen the full 5 lectures? Anyone with an unbiased mind, and I challenge them to show the full lecture of mine. I challenge any media to show the full lecture of mine and then say, is it right or wrong?
You say, you claim that you're a pacifist, you are working to bring about harmony. But when you run down other religions, when you say that eating prasad is un-Islamic, when you start, running down, picking holes in the theology of other religions, how is that promoting harmony?
Regarding the allegation that I run down other religion, I challenge anyone to point out any statement in context of mine where I run down other religion. In fact, Quran is very clear. Quran says in Surah Anam chapter number 6 verse number 108 that revile not, abuse not those gods who they worship besides Almighty Allah, lest in the ignorance they will revile Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have never run down any religion because that is against the Quran. Yes, if you ask me a question, can a Muslim eat prasad? I said, no, Muslim can't eat prasad. And I give the reference. Yes, I'll give the reason. And I give the reference. It's mentioned in the Quran in no less than 4 different places. In Surah Baqarah chapter 2 verse number 173. In Surah Ma'idah chapter number 5 verse number 3. In Surah Anam chapter 6 verse number 145. And in Surah Nahl chapter 16 verse number 115. It says, Hurrimat alaykumul maitutu waddamu walamul khinzir. Wama uhilla li ghayril bi. Forbidden for you for food are dead meat, blood, and flesh of swine, and any food on which any name besides the name of Almighty Allah is taken. So in Islam, a Muslim is not supposed to have food of anyone, any name. Even if the name of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is taken on the food, you can't have it. If any name besides Allah's name is taken, it's prohibited. No, this is my religion and the Constitution of India.
Do you realize that this is liable to be misunderstood? That leads to...
But I cannot change my
disaffection
according to the Article 25 of India. I am following the Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution says in Article 25, every citizen of India has the right to follow, practice and preach his religion. I am following my religion. Same way if a Hindu thinks, I don't want to have beef, that's his belief. I as a doctor, I know eating beef is good. But if he says he doesn't want to have beef, that's his prerogative. I will not say running down Islam.
Doctor, you've been away from India, but do you realize that people back home in India are likening you to Praveen Togadia and Sadhvi Prachi? They say that your speeches are provoking communities, creating discord.
I challenge any channel to show the full speech of Praveen Togadia and full speech of mine and let the audience decide. What is happening in the news channel, the anchor person, he is the lawyer, he is the judge, and he is the jury. I challenge any of the top journalists who has a good rating. If they want to have a good rating, or not the small one, I don't waste my time. I challenge any journalist. And one of them, I don't want to name them, I don't want to make them famous. that let's have a debate that who is more beneficial for the society, Zakir Naik or the journalist. Let's have a debate. 1 hour he speaks, 1 hour I speak. A half an hour debate, and then half an hour rebuttal. He speaks, half an hour I speak. Let there be a question and answer session for 1.5 hours. Let there be a fair hearing. In the news channels of India, what they do, that the anchor person has already, anchor person is supposed to be neutral. There are very few journalists that I saw regarding myself. One was Karan Thappar. I found him that he was very neutral, though the information given to him was also wrong. Yet, when the judgment, when the argument was given by lawyers on the panelists, for example, Soli Saurabhji, and there were other people, he repeated the argument without thrusting his view. What happens on the Indian TV, they start and say, okay, now we are going to prove that Dr. Zakir Naik is a terrorist. And they get 3 people for 3 people again.
Dr. Naik, it's very easy to blame the media. I mean, the messenger is always the one who gets blamed first. But in your speeches, I'm quoting from your speech, in one of your speeches you've defended the concept of suicide bombers in certain situations. Now, is this not a support for ISIS?
Never ever have I defended suicide bomber as a whole. I made it very categorically that any suicide bombing in which innocent people are killed, it is totally prohibited in Islam. And they are quoting out of context. Let them show the full lecture. Let them show the full question answer.
A lot of people believe that your speeches actually inspire young men to take to terror.
A lot of people, you may not be aware that Peace TV has 200 million viewers, the full Peace TV network. English has 100 million viewers, the Urdu has 80 million viewers, we are on 14 satellites, the Bangla is there, the Chinese is there, and there are 14 million fans of mine. If I was spreading terrorism, there should have been at least a million terrorists. In the full world, in the past 25 years, hardly you can name 10, 15, 20 people. So if I agree with you that you are right, there are more than 200 million fans of mine. And if 10 people misunderstand me, who's to blame? It's like giving an example. There is a doctor who has saved thousands of lives, but he could not save 5 patients. And you say, oh, you are a killer of patients. This is what the media is doing. And if this is the case, why have so many government give me award? Today, the most highest Islamic award in the world is the King Faisal Award, the service of Islam, the highest award, equal to the Nobel Prize of Peace.
Equally, some governments have banned you from.
Some no, one. Don't say some.
UK and Canada?
No, Canada hasn't banned me. Do you have any letter? These are the media, you show me. Only, and how many countries have given me award? Highest award.
Malaysia, Indonesia.
Who said that? Indonesia. I was there 2 months back. First we'll come to Saudi, we'll go in order. Saudi Arabia last year gave me the highest award in the Islamic world, King Faisal Award for Service of Islam. I also got the second highest award of the Islamic world from the Dubai government, the Dubai International Holy Quran Award 3 years back. I got from Malaysia 3 years back the Toko Mahanajiri Award, which is normally given to a local Malaysian. Once in a blue moon it's given to a foreigner. In the last 25-30 years, I'm the 4th foreigner who got it. So India should be proud that out of 4 international people, I am one of them who got that award. Furthermore, Sharjah gave me an award. Furthermore, Gambia gave me an award. So all these 5 countries, do you think that the intelligence of all these 5 countries, they are foolish? Do you mean to say that the Indian media is far superior to the intelligence of Saudi Arabia and of Malaysia and of Dubai and of Sharjah and of Gambia? What you are asking me about ban. There is no country in the world except UK which did not ban me. The problem is the Indian media doesn't know English properly. What's the meaning of banned in UK? UK is a different country. It has a different terminology. Banned in UK means the person, his books cannot be sold. His speeches cannot be heard on television. The Peace TV is uploading from UK, from London.
You travel to
London. I am giving you the definition of banned. I am educating you. What's the meaning of banned in UK according to UK terminology? That my lectures cannot be telecast, it's being telecast in UK. My books cannot be sold, it's being sold. The right word for UK is excluded. If the journalists of India don't know proper English and they don't do their research, you go and see in the constitution of UK what is the meaning of banned. Banned means besides being not allowed to enter the country, your books cannot be sold and your lectures cannot come on any television channels. I am excluded. Excluded means they said that Zakir is detrimental for the society. And what is the context? I have the original letter. In the letter, Theresa May, if you know the background is in 2009, the head of the anti-terrorism department, his name is Charles Farr, he sent an officer and they approached me and they told me, Mr. Naik, you can reach those Muslims who we can't reach because they're popular. I said, yes. Can you help us? I said, I'm aware that there are certain Muslims who are youngsters, who are misguided. And I'm aware there are some misconceptions about Islam in the UK government. I am willing to help you under two conditions. You should not ask me to do anything against the Quran and the authentic teachings and the sayings of Prophet Muhammad. And the second thing, I don't want your money. And they agreed. But few months later, in 2010, when the election took place, Labour Party lost and the Conservative came. When Conservative came, 3 weeks coming to power, in less than a month, the Home Secretary who was there that time, Theresa May, who has become the Prime Minister now, the first Muslim that she excluded is Dr. Zakir Naik. I was going to give lecture in Wembley, in big auditoriums, in London, and I've been to UK several times. I had a 5 years valid visa, which was issued in 2009. It was a multiple entry visa. In 2010, they sent an official letter that you are excluded. And they gave me some clips of my speeches. I'll just mention to you one, for you to realize why has she excluded me. She said that you had given a speech in UK saying, and she quoted, that I condemn the attack of 9/11, where 3,000 Americans were killed. I also condemn where more than 50 people were killed in London tube bomb blast. I also condemn more than 180 people who were killed in the train serial bomb blast in Bombay, India. But I also condemn the thousands of innocent people killed in Afghanistan, Iraq and Palestine. So the Home Secretary feels by me adding, and I was careful. When I used the word thousands of people in Afghanistan, I prefixed the word innocent. When I said Americans, London, Bombayites, I didn't prefix the word innocent. I went out of the way so that no one lays an allegation that Zakir is supporting certain terrorists. When I put this clause, I'm asking you a question. You reply to me. Is this statement right or wrong? I condemn the thousands of innocent people killed in Afghanistan, Iraq, as well as Palestine. I'm asking the question. What is wrong in that statement?
Look, it's for authorities to decide.
Forget authority. I'm asking you as an honest journalist.
No, prima facie, there's nothing.
Correct, nothing. So what authority to decide? There's nothing. She quotes inverted commas. Now, if they feel such speeches, that means killing Americans is a crime. Killing innocent Afghani is not a crime. Killing innocent Iraqi is not a crime. Killing innocent Palestinian is not a crime. So I'm asking you, because of this, I'm asking, when you said it is not a crime, why have they excluded me? In writing it is there. And anyway, this exclusion, when I asked my lawyers, they said for 3 years. Technically I can apply again. I won't apply. I don't want to. Why should I waste my time?
On the question.
So coming on any other country, there's no other country in the world which has banned me. You laid an allegation I'm banned in Indonesia, I'm banned in Malaysia. In Malaysia, yes, there were certain Hindu organizations who wanted me to be banned. The government gave me, after they protested that Zakir should be banned, they gave me an award, the highest award of the country. I've been called by the king. I was just there in April. I met the Prime Minister, I met the Deputy Prime Minister, I met the Home Minister, I met the Religious Minister. I met 14 cabinet ministers and chief ministers and the king in a span of 4 days.
Dr. Naik, now that we're talking of terrorism, categorically state where do you stand on ISIS? What is your stand on Taliban? What is your stand on the dastardly terror attacks that have taken place in Baghdad, that have taken place in Dhaka, that are taking place across the world?
I am very clear, and I've told this 1,000 times. If the media picks up some of my statements out of context, even if you count, I have given more than 2,000 lectures in the past about 20 years, there may be hardly 10 such statements they can pick up. There are more than 1,000 statements of mine which are unequivocal, unambiguous, and I've told that 1,000 times, and I'm repeating it. I condemn all terrorist acts, Because Quran clearly mentions in Surah Ma'idah, chapter number 5, verse number 32, that if anyone kills any other innocent human being, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, it is as though he has killed the whole of humanity. And if anyone saves any human being, it is as though he has saved the whole of humanity. I am a student of comparative religion. No religion in the world asks people to kill innocent people. But Quran is the only religious book on the face of the earth which gives the statement that if you kill one innocent human being, you have killed the whole of humanity. I have read the Bhagavad Gita, I have read the Veda, I have read the Mahabharata, I have read the Bible. I challenge anyone to take out any such statement equal to the Quran, which says if you kill one innocent human being, you have killed the whole of humanity. So as far as I am concerned, all terrorist acts done by any human being in the world, it is prohibited. It is the second major sin in Islam. As far as ISIS is concerned, I always ask the question, suppose I tell that I am the President of America. Will you report on your channel that I interviewed the President of America in Jeddah? Will you say that? No. You will say the person is telling a lie or the person is a lunatic. Similarly, when an organization comes and says that we are an Islamic state and they're killing innocent people, when the Quran is clear that killing innocent human being is like killing the whole of humanity, how can you agree with the label they're giving themselves? So I tell the media, and specifically the Muslim media and the Muslims, that when you read in the newspaper, this name Islamic State is given by the enemies of Islam. Don't report on your media that Islamic State has done that, is totally wrong. I call them anti-Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. So I will tell the anti-Islamic State of Iraq and Syria has killed the innocent human beings. For me to say Islamic State, I am endorsing that they're Islamic. Will you ever say that I'm the President of America? No. So why are you using double standards? It is clearly mentioned in the Quran that killing innocent human being is like killing the whole of humanity. So I tell the Muslims that in their ignorance, what they're doing, they are endorsing these people. And it is the news media which are giving them more publicity. What? So I will tell them that they are anti-Islamic State. And anyone, leave aside anti-Islamic State does it, whether Muslim does it, whether non-Muslim does it, whether they're talking about Baghdad, whether they're talking about Medina, whether they're talking about Dhaka, whether they're talking about Bombay. When I've categorically told in so many lectures, no, do you want me to say that every act anyone does, I'll come and condemn? Generally, anywhere in the world, whether New York, whether London, whether Baghdad, whether Palestine, whether Afghanistan, whether Iraq, killing innocent human beings is condemned.
Dr. Naik, you've spoken vehemently here. But do you realize that there is, across the world, increasingly Muslims are being viewed with suspicion? Islam, unfortunately, is not the most popular religion across the world. And would you agree that a part of this problem also stems, responsibilities also devolves on Muslims, on the way some people in the name of Islam have acted?
Regarding you saying that Islam is not popular, I would say no. Today it is the most popular. It is the maximum practiced religion in the world. In numbers, Christianity may take, but scholars agree that in practice, Islam is the largest followed religion in the world. I do agree with you that today the world looks at in a different angle. For this, I would blame the media, and I've given lectures. I'm a man of the media. I've given 7 lectures, and according to me,
those who are indulging in such acts of terror in the name of Islam.
I'm coming.
So it's not the media which
Of course. So number one, according to me, and you asked me the question, I have to give my view. I have not repeated your view, correct? You're asking me, so I'll give my view. Give me a chance to give my view.
Certainly.
According to me, number one responsible is the media. Today, media is the most important weapon in the world. It can convert black into white, day into night, hero into a villain, villain into a hero. Today, what the media does, picks up black sheep of the Muslim community and they portray as though they're exemplary Muslim. I do agree. There are black sheep in the community. I'm not saying that all those who claim to be Muslims, they're 100% practice Muslim. What did the media do? They pick up black sheep of the Muslim community and they portray as though they're exemplary Muslim. In the Indian media, we have headline, a Muslim Arab marrying a girl of 16 years old. Headline. When a non-Muslim rapes a girl of 6-year-old, it comes in news brief. Why? These are the double standards of the media. See about me.
But just because, that doesn't absolve those Muslims who are acting in the name of
That's what I'm trying to tell you. These Muslims who are doing the terrorist attack, they are not practicing Muslims. They are black sheep of the Muslim community. And they are to be condemned. And I condemn all human being, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, when they kill any other innocent human being, it is prohibited. It is as though they're killing the whole of humanity. Islam doesn't agree with that. Islam doesn't preach. Islam comes from the root word salam, which means peace. That's the reason the name of the channel is Peace TV. And it is bringing peace. Now what's happening, those people, many people don't want peace. If peace is there, how will the factory work? Many countries want to sell weapons. If peace is there, how will they sell weapons? And you know that. You know that better than me. What they don't want peace to be there. And our channel is promoting peace. Our channel is promoting peace. There is, throughout the world it is seen. Almost all the countries of the world it's seen. What is the problem with Bangladesh and with India? I don't know. UK, which has the stringent law, we got the downlinking permission. I'm asking you, what is the problem? Why doesn't the government say? Why doesn't the government say this program, show half an hour, this program half an hour, what we have seen, it is detrimental to the Indian society? I challenge.
You mentioned the government of India. You have issues with the government. Do you believe under this present government, intercommunity relations in India have always been fraught? Do you believe that under this present government, those tensions have increased?
See, as far, when I told government, I didn't say present or past.
No, I'm asking you specifically.
No, I'm answering you specifically. We didn't apply for the downlinking permission in the present government. We applied in the previous government. We applied in 2008, 2010, 2012. Always it was refused. They didn't give us a reason. That's a security reason. Why? When there are so many channels of the Christians that are running, many, more than 10, 20, there are Hindu channels. Why don't they have not allowed a single mainstream Muslim channel? Why? This present government, I haven't applied. I'm going to apply. I'm going to ask the Peace TV officials, I'm going to tell them, apply, and let's see what is the motive of this government. As far as the past government was there, thrice they refused. And they haven't given us a reason. When the world is allowing, do you mean to say that the intelligence of India is something superior? Or you point out, okay, this lecture of yours or this lecture shown on Peace TV is detrimental to the society. So as far as this government is concerned, I'm going to ask the Peace TV officials to apply again. And I feel that now since they're doing inquiry, I feel that when I want them to do inquiry on my speeches, I know that they have said, as far as the present government is concerned, regarding myself, I'm not a politician. As far as I'm concerned, the present government hasn't bothered me at all, till now. Even till today, till the time I'm talking to you. Tomorrow I don't know what will happen. Till today, I have got my reservation with the Indian media. Even though the Indian media in the past 2 weeks have called me as terrorist number 1, I have not received a single call from any Indian official government for investigation. That shows that they are really careful. They are doing research.
So it's the media to blame, but tell me.
100%. Okay. Till today. Tomorrow I don't know.
You are entitled to an opinion. I may beg to differ. Do you believe, and there are many politicians, and I'm specifically coming back to this question because there are many politicians who are of this view, but do you subscribe?
Of the view of what? Of the view of what? No, of the view of what?
Just coming to that. Do you subscribe to the view that tensions under the present government, under the present Prime Minister have increased?
See, tensions, asking about myself, asking about the others.
I'm asking intercommunity tensions.
Intercommunity tension, yes, they have increased. In some cases have decreased. I am a specialist of Islam and comparative religion.
You spend a lot of time in the Middle East. The Prime Minister has been on an outreach program.
Yes.
What kind of an impact has it had?
See, as far as the present Prime Minister Narendra Modi is concerned, I have to be very honest with you, that in my limited knowledge that I have, he is the first Prime Minister of India in a span of 2 years had been to so many Muslim countries. Out of the country, he went to 50%, 3 Gulf countries. He went to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, the 3 most powerful countries of the Gulf countries.
Actually, he went to Pakistan.
Yes, I'm coming. He went to Pakistan, he went to Afghanistan, he went to Turkey. He has gone to the central Russia. He has gone to Uzbekistan, so many countries. So, if his intention is to increase the relationship and better the relationship of India with the other Muslim countries, to increase the relationship of the Hindus and the Muslims, I'm for him. And that's good. So if his intention is to get communal harmony between the second and the third largest religions in the world, Hinduism is the third largest followed religion in the world. Islam is the second in terms of number. In practice, it's number 1. So if he's trying to get these 2 large communities and he's trying to build communal harmony, I'm for it. And in reciprocation, we saw that the king of Saudi Arabia, King Salman, gave him the highest civilian award. So if the intention of King Salman is that by giving an award, India and Saudi Arabia come closer, that Muslims and Hindus come closer, I'm for King Salman. If the intention is important. So I believe that I don't know of any Indian Prime Minister in such a short span has gone to so many Muslim countries. So I'm for it because Quran says, Quran clearly states, in the Quran Surah Imran, chapter 3, verse 64, Ta'alaw ila kalimatin sawa'in bayna baynakum. Come to common terms as between us and you. So if I have to look in my perspective that the relationship, if he's going to make it better, I'm for him. As far as this is concerned. In politics, I'm not a politician. My field is Islam and comparative religion.
In the course of the interview, you've spoken of the kind of influence that you have. There are issues. India has the second largest population of Muslims in the world. There are issues that beset the community. There are issues that, don't you believe there is time for reform? Why don't you address issues with regards to status of women? There's this issue of a verbal triple talaq. Millions of Muslim women have signed a petition in India, are crying out for reform.
You're saying India is the second largest Muslim country in the world? According to me, it is the largest. Yes, the Indian government records may say second. According to me, it is the largest, more than even Indonesia. I feel there are about 230 to 250 million Muslims in India, 20%, I believe, or maybe more than that. It is the largest. Regarding me speaking on issues like women's rights, that is the problem. That the Indian media doesn't see my lectures. I have given 2,000 lectures. I'm coming. I have given a lecture on women's rights in Islam, modernizing outdated. Regarding triple talaq. Now you asking me a question, I'll give you answer. Now when I give answer, some Muslim will feel offended. As far as triple talaq is concerned, if you read the Quran and say hadith based on that, if someone gives triple talaq in one sitting, according to me it is counted as one. I know there are different schools of thought in Islam. In Islam there should not be any sect. But there are difference of opinion in scholars. I believe in that group of scholars that if you give triple talaq in one sitting, it is counted as one. That is my understanding of the Quran and the hadith. Many Muslims don't like it. Now when I give an opinion, they say Zakir gives the fatwa. I'm giving an opinion. I'm not a scholar. I'm a student of Islam and comparative religion. Now when I give, and I can give references, I know the time is short. In Surah Baqarah chapter 2 or number 228 it says that. It said in Surah Talaq chapter number 65. I can give references. For more details you can see my cassette. According to me, when you give triple talaq, it is counted as one. And Islam is one of the few religions which gives right that divorce can be given. Most of the religions you can't give divorce. So Islam says that if two human beings are not compatible, husband and wife.
Conditions laid down.
Of course there are conditions laid down. All the conditions I've discussed in my lecture.
You can't give it on an SMS.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That there are conditions which you have to follow the Quran. And for that it will take time. But the conditions given together, even if you give three together, according to me, it is counted as one.
There's another demand which is very much in the news. There's a call for a uniform civil code in the country. Where do you stand on that?
As far as uniform civil code in the country is concerned, if you have honest people on the panel, and if you allow me to speak on behalf of Islam, I'm not a scholar, I'm a student of comparative religion, I will prove to you logically. I agree with the uniform civil code, but not be biased like how the media does or like what certain country does. Let's have an unbiased panel, and you'll come to know that the rules and regulations laid down in Quran are the best for humanity, and I've given talks on that. And I've proved it, that the rules and regulations laid down in the Quran are the best for humanity. I call Quran as the future world constitution. It is the most positive book in the world. It is a proclamation to humanity. It is a fountain of mercy and wisdom. It's a warning to the heedless. It's a guide to the erring.
Are you not in favor of uniform civil code?
If it's an unbiased panel, I'm for it. But if it's a biased panel, like how the Indian media is doing today, we should not have it. Because it's one-sided, taking out of context, not giving opportunity for clarification. If you have an unbiased panel, I, with my humble, limited knowledge of Islam, I will be on the board, one of the speakers for Islam, and I'll prove logically to the world that the teachings of Islam are the best for humanity. Therefore, I've given the talk. Islam the solution for humanity. If this is the case, I totally agree. There should be uniform civil code. All should believe in only one religion. All should believe in one way of life. All should have common laws. But that law should be seen to it, it is the best for humanity.
Dr. Naik, for taking time out and speaking to us, thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.